Yeah, we back. Now, today we got a very interesting video. Y'all remember back during the summer of 2022, there was a viral story on TikTok, a TikTok therapist that went viral because she was telling black men about ourselves. She was checking black men. You know how it is on social media, man. Every day they got to check black men. They got to put black men in their place. So this young lady went to TikTok. She is a licensed therapist, yes indeed, who says that she has black male clients. And she was telling black men about themselves. She was checking black men, putting black men in their place, as they usually do on social media, right? And we just brush it off because most of these hoes, you know what I'm saying? It ain't worth the trouble. But anyways, in her mind, I assumed that she thought that the only thing that would happen was she would receive likes, comments, reactions, the women coming to the comment section supporting her, talking about, oh, you speaking facts. Yeah, girl, preach. But she was surprised when black men did not react in the typical fashion that black men are accustomed to reacting. She expected black men to return insults towards her, to denigrate her in return, to get emotional, to be immature. But she was caught by surprise when black men simply just fell back, rolled up our sleeves, and called her job, emailed her employer, and got her fired. Black men did not stoop down to her level and engage in a verbal sparring match. We just called your boss, man. We just called your big homie and got you up out of here. So now, months later, after she's been without a job for months, it's finally setting in. And now she's on TikTok. Now she's on Twitter. Now she's on social media crying and boo-hooing. Well, anyways, man, let's get into it, man. I'm going to run the footage. And as you know, I'll be back on my commentary. Let's go.
The definition of abuse is the intentional misuse of something. By you intentionally not taking your motherfucking ass to therapy and talking about all the things that plague you, you are neglecting your bitch. And she's not tolerating this shit no more. You know what? I even pulled the article back up. I'm gonna read this because y'all seem to not know words. This literally says, I hear dating culture themes between women of the ages 25 and 45. They prefer men who are emotionally available, good communicators, and share similar values. Y'all don't even know how to articulate your emotions. So how the fuck are you supposed to maintain a relationship? I.e., you can't. That's why you're single. Still not convinced, boo-boo. I got another one for you. Skills deficits. For men, this means a relationship skills gap that, if not addressed, i.e. in therapy, take y'all fucking asses to therapy, will likely lead to fewer dating opportunities, less patience for poor communication skills, and longer periods of being single. The problem for men is that emotional connection is the lifeblood of a healthy, long-term, loving relationship. Emotional connection requires skills that families are still not consistently teaching their young boys. Y'all can learn this shit in therapy. That's why I keep telling y'all this shit. You wonder why older men go for younger women? Because older women are not tolerating y'all horse shit.
All right, we back. I'm going to have to break down the commentary in segments as we go through the video because it's so much that we got to break down. Now, first of all, as y'all know, I mentioned before, I come from a medical family, particularly the pharmaceutical industry, right? What do we deal with? We deal with people who come to get their medication after they get their diagnosis from the doctor, right? Now, of course, in the comment section, when she dropped this video, of course, the women were giving her a round of applause as in typical fashion. You know, anytime the black man is getting denigrated, guarantee it's going to be black women in the front row seat, round of applause, clap, clap, clap. So anyways, man, if I took to my social media, right, and I decided to lecture black women in regards to their diet habits, their eating habits, their exercise habits, their drug habits, their alcohol habits, their sexual habits, because the pharmacy does sell STD medication as well, and I decided to speak to them in this fashion, in this tone, cursing at them, dropping F-bombs and B and S and D and all type of curse words all in between, right? All while hiding behind the banner of, oh, I'm a medical professional. I come from a medical family. I just want what's best for you. Do you think that message will be well received by black women or any women in general or anybody in general? A medical professional cannot approach somebody who's 500, 600 pounds and tell them, hey man, you better get it together. Or you're going to be up out of here in like 5-6 years. You can't say that. You got to say that in the most polite, in the most respectful way that you can. And you definitely cannot go on social media and generalize an entire demographic of people, especially when she said that her main client base is black men. So imagine my main client base was black women and I was denigrating their lifestyle habits that led to their health difficulties, and that's why they're coming to the pharmacy every damn week for medication. Would it be wrong if I got fired? Or would the women be celebrating and be like, see, the women would say, oh, that's karma right there. The women would say that's karma. God don't like ugly. He got what was coming to him. Now, thankfully for me, you know, my family, we self-made, we self-paid independent. So you can't get us fired because we're the ones in charge of the hiring and the firing. I'm sorry to tell you. But unfortunately, because the climate on social media has made it so comfortable for the women to speak out the side of their mouths, right, with no repercussions, because they were not accustomed to black men going the corporate route. They were accustomed to black men going the immature route, you know, getting into the comment section and trying to go back and forth. But no, she was very surprised when black men from all over the world, from Europe to all different continents, black men all over the world formed together, find out where the hell she worked at, made calls and sent emails. And later on in the video, what you'll find out is the most ironic thing about it is the person who was her mentor, the person who gave her the job, the person who actually fired her as well was a man. So she spent all that time on TikTok talking about men are deficient, men are inferior, men are not emotionally intelligent, when the man who you owe everything to, the man who gave you a job, the man who you said was your mentor, and the man who ultimately fired you was a man. And for those of y'all who've been following me for a minute, y'all know months back I dropped a video. I forget the exact title, but it was something along the lines of women are now bringing the gender war into the medical field. And in that video, I was responding to another woman on TikTok who I believe she was a nurse or something along the lines. I don't know. She worked in a nursing home and she was just doing the same thing this woman was doing, disrespecting black men. I remember she had a schizophrenic black male patient and she was just insulting that man. Y'all can go into my catalog and find that video. And in that video, I had said that I would never hire someone to work at my family's pharmacy, to work in any medical health facility where you are in charge of taking care of black men. Meanwhile, you don't even respect black men as human beings. Yeah, I would never hire you. That's why I do thorough background checks on everybody that comes through that works for me. I'm not going to put a single dime into any woman's pocket who does not respect black men. I'll find your Facebook. I'll find your TikTok. I'll find your Twitter. I'll search all up and down your Twitter timeline. Listen, I don't want nothing to do with any woman that does not respect black men. Period, point blank. Now, let's get back into the footage.
Y'all think bitches just be talking in y'all ear just to be fucking talking. We don't. Y'all think bitches just want to argue with y'all because y'all refuse to expand your emotional vocabulary. We don't. It's to provide clarity for both us and y'all dusty bitches. Let me stop. This shit really truly irks me because when I say you need to expand your emotional vocabulary, it's so your life can be easier. Don't you want to be able to communicate with your bitch? I think yes, right? Long gone are the days where you can just shut down. Bitches is not tolerating that. Like, it used to be where men provided financially or with schmeat, and bitches can make their own self come and we can pay for our own shit. So I'm gonna need y'all to catch up on the emotional part. If a bitch is telling you, I need you to communicate more, open your fucking mouth. But you know what I realized? And let me back up. A common misconception about me as a clinician is that 90% of my clientele have been men, black men specifically. And what we specifically work on is expanding their emotional vocabulary because a lot of y'all motherfuckers don't even have the words to express how you're feeling.
Now, hold up. Going back to what I said, I come from a family of medical professionals. Now, imagine me going to TikTok saying, oh yeah, I'm pharmacist Neferkari Dessalines, and I'm here to talk to the black women, and I'm calling the black women a bunch of mother effers, a bunch of dusty bees, a bunch of, y'all don't know, y'all not intelligent enough not to eat 3,000 calories a day. Why y'all putting so much salt on and so much gravy on the chicken, huh? And then imagine a bunch of black men getting in the comment section like, yeah, those fat bees, so much damn gravy and pork chops and so much chicken and french fries. Yeah, that's why they so fat. That's why they dying from heart attack. Like, bro, imagine that, because that's what it was in the comment section, right? She called black men a bunch of dusty bees, a bunch of low emotional intelligence, a bunch of, that's why y'all losing y'all girls, and that's why we not tolerating y'all, and we can make our own selves come, and we can buy our own stuff, and we don't need y'all. And okay, all right, listen. And then on top of that, listen, later in the video, you're gonna see, man, like I said, she's gonna be boo-hooing and but I'm telling you, bro, this same person talking about emotional intelligence on TikTok, you're gonna see later in the video on TikTok crying and boo-hooing. And just for the record, this is a message to all the ladies. Don't ever lecture men about emotional intelligence, emotional maturity, okay? You guys are not the demographic to be lecturing anybody on emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, emotional control, none of that. Because as men who deal with y'all on a daily basis, as someone who has 5 sisters, I can confidently say that women are the last group of people to lecture anybody on emotions, okay? You guys can barely control or handle your own emotions. So please don't lecture men. Don't lecture men. That's like a 450-pound man trying to lecture me on physical fitness, all right? Anyways, let's jump back into the footage. Let's go.
When bitches are telling y'all to go to therapy, it's not for us, it's for y'all sad motherfuckers. Go to therapy. Talk about that shit that's on your chest. You don't have to choke that shit down no more. Y'all are doing a disservice to yourself. And so let me sum this shit up. Y'all told bitches to elevate our standards. And at the cost of us elevating y'all standards, y'all got axed because y'all didn't elevate either. Bitches are not tolerating emotional abuse, emotional neglect. Step it up. Go talk to somebody. Go expand your emotional vocabulary so your life can be better, bitch.
A few moments later.
Well, hello. It's your friendly neighborhood therapist who thought she could save these hoes, but got her job terminated as a result. Story time? I think yes. Shit you not, I posted a video on Monday telling men that their dusty behavior is only harming them and that they would benefit from emotional intelligence. And I shit you not, by Friday, didn't have employment.
Now, first things first, round of applause for the brothers that did not take the immature route. They went the corporate route. They went the mature route. They went the boss man route. They said, listen, I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I'm not going to debate you. I'm simply going to call the man who pays you. And before we jump into the footage of her, boo-hooing and crying because she lost her job because she disrespected black men, which, like I said, black men, I'm not sure because I don't have any proof, but I believe the man that employed her and the man that she calls her mentor was also a black man. The man who fired her, I believe, was a black man. I'm not sure because she called him a father figure. So I'm assuming that she's not calling a white man a father figure. I hope not. But anyways, this is why I preach. Brothers, we have to start our own companies, our own infrastructure, our own businesses where we are in charge of the hiring and firing, where we are in charge of running background checks. So women like her, they don't even get into the door. They don't even get a job, period. Now, it's good that in this instance, we showed our power and influence by coming together and getting her fired. I'm happy you brothers didn't stoop down to her level with the insults and the propaganda. You guys just went straight to her place of business or a place of employment. And like I said before, I have no sympathy because if roles were reversed and there was a black medical professional talking to black women in this tone, in this manner, calling them a bunch of dusty bees, a bunch of low intelligent bees. Like I said, I'm very familiar with the pharmaceutical industry. I've never seen a medical health professional go online and denigrate black women for their diet habits, their eating habits, their weight habits, their sexual habits. I've never seen it done. I've never seen it done. When you talk to a patient, when you talk to a client, it has to be in the utmost respect for the situation, for the mental health, all around, bro. And for someone who she said her main client base is black men, she has such low respect for black men that even when you are paying her, even when you are the reason why she can even pay the bills and buy food, she still does not even have basic respect for you to address you as a human being. And I speak about this on my channel a lot, but the vast majority of these women, they do not respect black men. They do not respect black men. That's why they have no access to the top tier black men. Do you think a woman who does not respect black men will ever have access to a black man of any consequence, of any significance, a black man that's getting up every day and doing what he's supposed to do? Do you think he's going to tolerate this type of energy from any woman? Before we jump into the rest of the footage, I just want to tell the ladies, if you don't respect black men as human beings, then I'm going to tell you right now, that's the reason why you can't get a black man. That's the reason why you can't get a black man, because I mentioned it before on my channel. Intelligent black men, we can sniff out the bitterness and the hatred like the police canine sniff out the cocaine. And once we detect that you're just like the rest of them, you have no respect, that's why we delete your number and block you and you never hear from us again. That's why you sit back and ask yourself, damn, was it something I said? Was it something I did? Damn, I'm texting him, he's not answering. I'm calling him, it's going straight to voicemail. I went to his Instagram and his profile disappeared. I'm blocked. I remember in the video, she said something like, oh, women can pay for our own stuff and we can make ourselves come and we don't need y'all and y'all gotta level up and that's why we not dealing with y'all. No, the reason why y'all not dealing with any man, period, not even just the top tier black man, but any man, period, is because we could tell that you don't respect men, any man. So why would we get involved with you? Why would we start a family with you? Why on God's green earth would we waste time, energy, and resources dealing with you? And then in order to rationalize the fact that any man of consequence and influence and power and prestige does not want to deal with you, you make up nonsense in your head. Oh, well, it's just the emotional intelligence. They don't got the emotional intelligence to get up to my level and deal with me. No, it's just, it's just other women that we could deal with. Other women who are just better than you. Other women who are superior than you, mentally, emotionally, all around. Other women who actually respect us as human beings and have the decency to address us with respect as human beings. And I can't even be too hard on her because she's just a product of society. She's a product of her environment, as I always say. Women are simply products of her environment. You see, in the United States, because there's such a lack of respect for men, all men, period, not just black men. Black men get it. We get it the hardest, I would assume, but In general, women in the United States do not respect men, even though women in the United States have the highest quality of living compared to all other women across the world. And it's so funny because women in different countries with a lower quality of living, they have more respect for the men in their territory. And the women who have the highest quality of living, the most safety nets, the most luxuries and amenities, they have the least respect for men, even though the men over here have afforded them a life of luxury and comfort compared to women overseas. But instead of looking at themselves in the mirror and telling themselves the cold hard reality, the fact that men don't want to deal with me because I'm a disrespectful, foul-mouthed individual who has no respect for the other gender, they just make up some nonsense about emotional intelligence and you got to get up to my level and this, that, and the third. And another thing too, I got to address this. She said that women don't need men anymore because they can buy their own stuff and they can make themselves come. But the numbers, I crunch the data all the time on my channel. The only demographic of single women who can legitimately say that they don't need men are elderly white women. Every other demographic of single women in America is struggling, especially once you add in kids. Once you put in single women with kids, the wealth levels plummet close to zero. So when you see these women bragging about the fact that they don't need men, understand that unless they're an elderly white woman from a colonial family who comes from old money, their declarations do not match up with reality. Now, anyways, let's get back into the footage.
So once they told me my shit was off the profile on Wednesday, I knew I was clipped. I knew it. I even knew it so much that I wore a black dress to what I thought was going to be the mediation. So I was told to continue to see my clients on Thursday. They never indicated anything to me that I was going to be fired. Like I said, I was given the impression that what I said was spicy, but the message of what I was trying to get across was not fireable. Okay, so as I'm staring at this Black Lives Matter flag and they're telling me that I'm fired, I'm just like thinking to myself, this is the very same person that always told me to stand up for oppression. This is the same person who educated me, who gave me the tools to speak to the very community that I'm speaking to. But this is the very same person that is staring me in my face, cutting me loose from any financial security and safety that I had. When I tell you this person was pivotal in my life, like figure, almost. And so for them to stare me in my face once I asked them, clarification because I was just really fucking confused as to why I was being fired. I asked, so am I getting fired based off of the opinions of other people, not based off of my merit as a clinician? And I was hit with the business is business. Can I keep it all the way a buck with y'all for real? I've been doing this shit this whole time. I want to go into what it's really like having depression. Because I feel like people tell you it's just not being able to get out of bed and shit like that, but it's so much more than that. There's the aches and the pains and the ideation and sometimes the inability to cope with just regular shit. So for the life of me, I've never understood why people fake or pretend to have depression because it's incredibly debilitating. It's incredibly debilitating. I hate the fact that I wake up most days and I hate the fact that I wake up most days. And I know that that's the depression talking. I know it's an illness of stuckness. I know you're supposed to get up and move. But when you just don't feel like living, what's the fucking point of doing deep breathing? I sit in the space and hold the space for my clients, which I can't even do now. Because I'm too fucking burnt out. And we sit and process what it's like, but to actually experience this shit is way the fuck different. It's way different. You have gaps of time that you don't remember. We could just stick with the ideation. I think that is the worst of it. That is the worst of it. It doesn't matter how you feel about yourself. It doesn't matter how much you love yourself. It doesn't matter any of that. When that depression wants to fucking kick in, you don't want to live anymore. And so people, because you can't see it, people don't believe you. They just think it's all in your head, and it's not real. And as a clinician and as a person, it's very real. It's very fucking real. There are millions of people who deal with depression. I don't fucking know how, bro.
All right, we back now. Listen, I'm so glad I don't go to therapy. I'm so glad I never believed in therapy, because this confirms everything that I've always thought. How can I go to therapy? You don't even got it together. Your mental health isn't even on point, and you're gonna get my mental health on point? Get out of here, man. And even if I did go to therapy, it would only be to another black man, because like I said before in the video, most of you women don't even respect black men. So why would I put money in your pocket? Why would I? Most of y'all don't even respect black men. Most of y'all mental health is not even on point. Most of y'all are already going through your own mental health crisis, and y'all don't respect black men. So why would I pay my money to sit in the same room with you multiple times a week? Get out of here, bro. I'm glad I grew up around fathers, uncles that told me, hey, man up, handle your business, and regardless of what you may personally feel, you have to get up every damn day and do what you're supposed to do. As a leader, you can't get caught up in your emotions and your personal feelings. And I'm glad that that was the doctrine that I was taught. Because if you ask me, my mental health is more on point than hers, and I'm not even the licensed therapist. Can you imagine the irony of someone suffering from depression and suicidal thoughts trying to lecture the entire population of black men worldwide, saying that we have low emotional intelligence and we a bunch of dusty bees who can't get on her level? Can you imagine the irony? Can you imagine the irony? Now, anyways, man, I wanna go through some tweets that I found that I think kind of would summarize this video in a beautiful way. If you take a look up on the screen, the first tweet, it reads, as a licensed therapist whose clients are solely black men, how do you convince them that therapy is effective when you can't even use the tools you have to, number one, identify for your own triggers, and number two, actively work on utilizing the resources you have to successfully overcome it? The next tweet reads, her whole brand was centered around slandering black men because she, quote unquote, cares about their mental health, using her credentials and telling them she was qualified to speak on their experiences because she studied it, just to be going through it and spiraling. The next tweet reads, what you don't find in surplus is a slew of men picking up a camera, crying about potentially unaliving themselves. The caricature people develop online is interesting, to say the least. The elitism backfired fast. She needs to reevaluate her career path. Now, I think that's a beautiful summary, a beautiful way to, wrap up the video. And once again, I would like to give a big salute to the brothers that did not stoop down to her level, who utilized extreme emotional intelligence. They understand that, listen, we're not going to step down to your level. We understand that, you're just a goofy, and we're just going to call the person who employs you, the person who weaponized you, the person who put the battery in your back, the person who puts money in your pocket. And ironically, he was a man. So imagine how he felt, the person that he employed, the person who was her mentor, her father figure, seeing her go online and call men a bunch of low emotional intelligence, dusty bees, and all type of MFers in between. Man, listen, man, just a goofy, man, just a goofy. But listen, the way she feels is no different than how a lot of women feel. The only difference is she was dumb enough to actually put her face on the screen, put her name on the screen, and brag about her credentials. You see, other women, they're smart enough to hide behind a burner account, hide behind a fake account with no profile picture, with a fake name. So you can't even really see who you're talking to on the other end of the screen, right? It could be a teacher, it could be a second grade teacher, it could be a police officer, it could be someone that works in human resources. You never really know. She was just dumb enough because she felt confident enough because of the social climate. Because disrespecting men is so trendy. Disrespecting black men in particular is so trendy right now. The only reason she put out that video was to get likes, retweets, comments, and applause and support from women who are just as bitter as her. Women who are also going through a mental health crisis just like her. Women who are alone just like her. Women who they have to go to sleep at night. The only person cuddling them is their degree. That's the only person cuddling them at night. And in order to vent, in order to blow off steam, because they don't have the affection of an intelligent, high-powered black man that they desire, they go online and they slander black men. They disrespect black men for sport, like it's some type of funny game to play. And at the end of the day, she tried to play the game and she got played. She got played because she underestimated black men. She thought black men were truly emotionally unintelligent, like she claimed, right? She thought that we would get into the comment section and go back and forth and try to denigrate her and try to disrespect her in return. But in fact, what really happened was black men reacted with extreme levels of emotional intelligence and simply got her fired. So, at this point, I believe she got fired back in August. So I believe August, that's about 4, 5, 6 months at this point now. So she been on social media, TikTok, the past 4, 5, 6 months, cracking jokes, having fun, like nothing's been going on. But now she's crying. And why do I think she's crying? It's because I think the checking account is running low. I think the checking account is running low. I think she's thinking about the fact that she might have to sign up for some government programs in order to not be on the street. Ever since the pandemic, the eviction rates for black women have been astronomical, off the charts. A lot of black women are being kicked out onto the streets. And I don't say this with any malicious energy. I'm just speaking the facts as someone who watches the news and keeps up with what's happening in the world. And I think that the walls are closing in. The walls are closing in. The money is running low. She doesn't know what the next step is in life. If her main client base was black men, she can't really go into business for herself because black men are not going to put money in her pocket at all, unless she wants to depend on, the bitter women that was in the comment section. But what she doesn't understand is those women are not going to support you economically. They're just going to support you in your dysfunction. They're just going to get into the comment section and be like, oh yeah, girl, preach. They're just going to encourage you to embarrass yourself even further, but they're not going to actually do business with you. They're not going to actually put money in your pocket. They don't even got money in their own pockets. Anyways, man, I don't got sympathy for nobody. I don't got sympathy for y'all, because if the roles were reversed and there was a black male health professional, a black medical professional, that was a man who was speaking in this tone of voice, using this similar language, talking about black women, like I said, calling them dusty bees, calling them a bunch of MF and Bs. And if that man got fired, and if that man was on TikTok crying because he was about to be evicted and about to be homeless and doesn't know what he wants to do with his life, listen, the women in reverse, you know what they would do? They would be talking about karma. They would be saying, oh yes, karma. Yes, that's what you get. God don't like ugly. Listen, they would be dancing on that man's grave. So me, I don't got no sympathy for anybody that doesn't respect black men as a demographic, as a collective, and as human beings. It is what it is. Start your own business, go back to school, go work at 7-Eleven, go do what you got to do, but it is what it is. You don't got no sympathy coming from me over to you. So anyways, man, it's your boy Neferkari Desalegn back in the building. Yes, indeed. Like, share, subscribe, Cash App in the description, and I'm gone. Peace.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in that ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart it be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas, falsifying information. Know they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling the tension. Enemy watching, he blocking my vision. Get for the check cause I need my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young Money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for the bitch. They making no hourly wage, I got business. This is an art and they could never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you ain't caught. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with friends, cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and you're smacking their faces.